Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the latest webinar in the 2021 webinar series, Getting Fired Up for Phoenix. The conference committee team, Turi Siski, Natalie Vega Rhodes, Judy Williams, Michael Pemberton, Todd Stein, and Crystal Wiggins, and we've got many of them here today. This webinar is sponsored by the AMATYC Conference Committee. Any views expressed by the presenter are not necessarily the views of AMATYC, and any commercial products mentioned are not endorsed by AMATYC. McGraw-Hill is the sponsor for the 2021 AMATYC webinar series. If you are not a member of AMATYC, we would hope that you would consider joining. You can find our information on our website. We have a lot of different Facebook pages. National conferences, well, obviously we're talking about Phoenix today, Toronto next year. There are other webinars and traveling workshops coming up. And the recording of this webinar and other past webinars can be found on our AMATYC page to watch whenever it's convenient for you. Okay, I will stop sharing now and I will turn it over to the conference committee.
So hello, I'm Turi and I am AMATYC's conference coordinator. And I'll just start by saying that we are so excited about the return of the AMATYC Annual Conference. And we are definitely looking forward to welcoming you to beautiful Arizona. And Phoenix is such a wonderful city, so we are definitely fired up for that. Judy, go ahead. Yeah, one more. So you can see in the distance there a picture of the Sheraton in sunny Phoenix, and we are hoping that we're going to give you lots of information today and answer any questions that you have to help make the conference a great experience for you. So next slide. So today on the agenda, we're going to talk about COVID procedures. We're going to give you a lay of the land. We're going to talk about what goes on at the conference and when and where to get help. We're going to preview the new conference app that we're excited about and talk about other opportunities, including our virtual days, which is new. So let's start with the topic that's on everyone's mind, which of course is COVID. So naturally, we've been monitoring the CDC's guidelines as well as state and local regulations in Phoenix. We all know that COVID-19 is very contagious and that the risk of exposure exists in any location. But your health and safety are very important to us. And so there are a number of steps we're taking to help mitigate that risk. Following the CDC's guidelines, masks will be required in conference areas at all times. There may be guests in the hotel that are not part of the conference, and the Sheraton's policy is that vaccinated guests don't have to be masked. But in the conference areas, we will definitely be requiring masks. So stock up on your supply before you're coming so you have enough for your flights and for the conference. The Sheraton has a lot of enhanced cleaning protocols in place throughout the hotel and the meeting rooms. We have an updated COVID document on the conference website, and there's a link there to Sheraton's pages where they describe all of the different things they're doing in the hotel to enhance their cleaning. One thing that I'll point out is that the Sheraton has what's called the Marriott Bonvoy app. And with a free Bonvoy account, you can have a completely contactless experience at the hotel. You can use the app to check in at, even from the airport. When you land, you can check into the hotel. They'll get your room ready. Your phone can be your room key. So you can just go right past the front desk, not even stop. Use your phone to get in your room. That app can also, you can chat with the front desk on the app. You can look at the menu and order food to pick up in the app. And when you're ready to leave, you can check out in the app. So totally contactless at the Sheraton. And AMATYC is also working on creating contactless procedures. At registration, you're going to scan a QR code to check in. In the past, you've been able to type your name on a screen. We're disabling that option this year. But if you're worried about keeping track of the email where your QR code is, don't worry, there'll be staff there to help you make sure that you can get signed in and get your badge. For the registration area, we're going to be using plexiglass barriers, minimizing touch points, and using gloves when we handle your conference bags and materials. We've decided to limit the number of things that we're putting on paper, and we're encouraging presenters to upload their materials in our new Hoover Conference app rather than distributing paper handouts. We're going to do lots of things to promote social distancing, including allowing for spacing at registration, setting up session rooms with fewer tables to make spacing easier. And in the exhibit hall, we are hugely increasing spacing and making the aisles way wider so that it'll be easier in the exhibit hall to be spaced. Food events was the challenge. We had to get a little creative about food events. And so here's what we settled on. For the Friday and Saturday, all attendees have a breakfast. You'll be able to pick up that breakfast in the Phoenix front foyer, and then you'll have some choices. We suspect a lot of people will want to take that breakfast back to their room and eat there. But we also have a ballroom available that's set aside so that vaccinated attendees who are comfortable can take their breakfast to that ballroom, remove their masks, and eat there. That ballroom will not be used for anything else. So once we have a time set aside for eating, and then after that, everyone will gather together in Phoenix C for the keynote session and then to hear the awesome speakers. But no one is ever going to be asked to go into a session room where someone was there eating without a mask on. So we're dedicating a separate space for attendees who are comfortable eating in that space without their masks. But otherwise, you're going to have options about where you take your food to eat it. For some of you who are invited to smaller food functions like the Access Dinner, the Affiliate President's Luncheon, the Leadership Reception, those are going to be held in an outside location that can handle those smaller groups. So during the food portion of those events, you'll be able to remove your masks since we'll be outside. And then finally, for hors d'oeuvres in the hospitality area, you'll be able to move your mask aside, take a bite, put your mask right back in between bites. So the food part was definitely the challenge for setting this up, but we think we've come up with the best solution to mitigate risk, but still provide the food. I'd be happy to answer more questions about this as we move forward when we get to the Q&A time. And then also I'll refer you to the document that's on the conference website where we've laid all of that out in much more detail. And send me questions anytime. So at the Sheraton, I've seen questions about whether the pool can be open. I know that Dan's especially concerned about that. And while it was closed for much of the pandemic, the hotel informed us that the pool is reopening during September and so will be available. Woo, yes. The hotel also does have a fitness center if you're interested in that. It's not pictured here, but for a hotel fitness center, it's really outstanding. And then on the left, you see in the lobby area, this is their spacious bar and restaurant area called And More. Their main restaurant is under a huge renovation and won't be open, but this And More site is open. They have breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, cocktails. The menu is available in the hotel app that I talked about. You can order food ahead in the app and have it ready for you to pick up from this counter here, or you can eat it there. And I can tell you that for breakfast, get the avocado toast because it was so good. I recommend it highly. All right. So this is the meeting area in the hotel. It's super easy to navigate. You can see everything is contained just on the second and third floors. It's going to be very easy to move from one session to the next. Most of our presentations are going to be in the yellow area on the second floor on the bottom right. Vast majority of presentations are there. Just a few steps away, you've got the registration area and the exhibit hall. Just a few steps away on the second floor there. You just have to pass past those, in the gray, those long lines are the escalator. And then where the circle is, and there's lots of little symbols there, that's the elevator bank. So you just go through there and you're right at registration and the exhibit hall, or you can take that escalator up to the third floor for the keynotes, posters, and a few meetings and sessions that'll be held on the third floor. But mostly you're going to be in that yellow area during the conference. So focus on the word Encanto in the center of the bottom there, where it says Encanto Foyer. That is right by the escalator and the elevator. And as we go to the next slide, you're going to be standing about where the O is in Encanto. So we're standing in the Encanto Foyer here looking at the elevators. The elevators are by where those pillars are. And if you look to the left, past the escalators, that's where registration is. So when you come down from your room and get off the elevators, the session rooms are off the right side of this slide and registration is ahead on the left there. So it's super easy to navigate. You can check in starting Wednesday at 4. You see all those available registration times. You can't miss it. And we're going to have good signs there for you. So focus on those escalators. Now we're standing by those escalators and looking back where we just were. You can see that brown door right on the edge of the picture. That's one of the session room doors. So all the session rooms are over there. Escalators, really easy to get to the third floor. And our hospitality area is just along the side of those escalators there in the Encanto Foyer where that cool carpeting is. So we have an amazing local events committee led by Ana Jimenez, who's on the webinar with us today. And you can see her pictured here. That group has got all sorts of fun things planned for that Encanto Foyer. It's nice and open, easy to find them, and they have done a great job getting ready for you. So on the next slide, we've got some suggestions about things you can ask them about, where to eat, how to sign up for a dinner group, things to do in Phoenix. But if you're eager to get started right now, they've created a website that you can check out. So just go to the conference homepage and look for the link to the local committee website. And I've already been looking through their restaurant recommendations, like trying to pick out some that look really great. And also there you can read about their community service project, supporting a school in Kenya that's connected to a number of our AMATYC members. So I hope that that gave you a good sense of the lay of the land and that you're getting excited about the conference already. And I'm happy to hand it off to Judy Williams, who's going to talk about the awesome conference sessions.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. Just a few words about our keynote speakers. Lindy Elkins-Tanton is going to tell us about her work with NASA and some amazing projects that are going on. She is from Arizona at Arizona State University, in addition to being with NASA and working with them. And she will be speaking Thursday afternoon as we have a session. And then on Saturday morning, Turi's already talked about breakfast being served and your options for eating that. But Talithia Williams from Harvey Mudd College is going to give us some insights from her life. We all know the movie Hidden Figures, and she's got some things to share about her experiences along those lines. And then we have two featured speakers from the area, from Arizona. James Tanton is part of the MAA leadership group. And he's going to give us a talk about bicycle tracks. You may have remembered him from Milwaukee when he taught us the famous mathematics handshake. And Turi was demonstrating. And Scott Adamson always has great ideas for teaching, and he's going to give us some suggestions for getting back to that classroom after so much virtual work. So I know that you'll enjoy all of those. And in addition to those, we've got many, many sessions, mini sessions that last 25 minutes, and we've tried to pair them up in the same room to give two people a shorter chance to share their talks with you. Get ideas from your colleagues. Most of the time, there'll be chances for you to be involved. These will be interactive sessions. You'll hear some more about our program keys later, but be careful, read your book to tell you about what they are. These letters, PS, for instance, is a pathways key or focus, but it includes things as diverse as a real pathway or suggestions for student success, developmental math, co-requisite courses. That TC is for teaching in grades K through 12, if that's what you're interested in, or applying math to other careers. The C that's there. And we've had a lot of good talks the last few years about nursing and health science math courses. Okay, but make sure that you set aside time to think about what you're getting in all these sessions. Take a break, give your mind a rest. And as Turi's already said, make some new friends through the hospitality area, go to dinner with them. All right. And then also another highlight of the conference is always the poster session. And that'll be Friday afternoon. And again, it will be in the hallway on that third floor outside the Phoenix Ballroom in the hallways. Those posters will be up for you to browse starting Friday morning, but the presenters will be there to answer your questions on Friday afternoon. So be sure to take an advantage of that. And all these other opportunities, again, we're excited that each of our communities, our academic committees, our AMATYC networks, they're each going to have their own meeting at a separate hour throughout the conference. So if you're interested in multiple areas, you don't have to choose one for a Friday afternoon, but you can go to as many of those groups as you're interested in and see what they're doing, meet other people with the same interests. We'll hear about exhibits and commercial sessions in a minute, some forums. Thursday night, there's an event that's focused on research for two-year colleges. Well, the regional meetings, Turi talked about the breakfast on Friday morning that you can pick up and choose where you want to eat it. That will be followed by you going to the region of the country that you're from and meeting other people from there and getting to know people there. The Friday night Ignite session is on again. I think there have been emails recently and announcements to send in your proposals. And the Saturday awards time after the breakfast with the keynote speaker, Talithia. And then Saturday at 3 o'clock. Keep your eyes open for some information about a fun time that we're going to have, because the delegate assembly will be virtual again this year. That gives us an hour or so on Saturday, and we're coming up with some really fun things to do. But remember that there are also some great sessions on Sunday. Don't go home too soon. so that we can say farewell to each other in Phoenix, but be really careful too. That is not the end of the conference, because we've got those virtual days coming that you'll hear some more about in a minute. And remember, we made this little picture, and your brain might start to feel that way, but please relax. We want you to go home refreshed, rejuvenated, invigorated to be back in the classroom, not so tired that you don't want to go to work on Monday morning, but you can take ideas home with you that you want to get there and can't wait to get there to try on Monday. And now I'm going to turn things over to Mike Pemberton to share a little bit with us.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Mike Pemberton, the Assistant Program Coordinator, and then also Natalie Vega Rhodes is the Assistant Conference Coordinator. Natalie couldn't join us today, but you'll definitely see her at this year's conference in Phoenix. I'm going to talk a little bit about Project Access. So next slide. So Project Access, I think from just looking at the chat, many of us know what are aware about Project Access, but Project Access is a 2-year program that AMATYC offers that provides experiences in professional development, professional networking, and also experiences for helping new faculty members become more effective teachers, and also active members in professional organizations such as AMATYC, and also the broader mathematical community. It's a 2-year program. So during the first year of the Project Access program, fellows meet during the AMATYC conference. And this year, if it's the first year, it'll be a first-year cohort in Phoenix. They will meet and they will have sessions that are, they'll attend sessions that are dedicated for new faculty. They will also talk about discussing and developing ideas in terms of making a project that they'll implement and evaluate at their home institution between their first and second years in Project Access. And then during their second year in Project Access, they'll attend the AMATYC conference again, and they will attend a few sessions that are geared towards new faculty, but more importantly, they'll present their project during our poster session on Friday afternoon. So the second year in Project Access, that cohort will be presenting during this year's poster session. So if you would like more information about Project Access, the Project Access leadership, the eligibility, the application, or if you would like to nominate someone, if you would like to apply yourself or nominate a colleague, you can visit the Project Access website for more information. So now I'm going to turn it over to Todd Stein, who's going to tell us all about the exhibit hall and exhibitors.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm excited to be here. I'm in what is now sunny Pennsylvania. It was storming quite a bit this morning, but we do have some sun out here today. I am the exhibits chair, and I work very closely with Crystal Wiggins, the advertising chair, who could not be here today. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is our commercial presentations. As it stands right now, we're in an ever-changing continuum of things. So these are the commercial presentation from our exhibitors that we have slotted for: McGraw-Hill, Wiley, Lumen Learning, Hawks Learning, Derivata, and Digital Ed. So keep an eye out as we roll out the Hoover app for things that are changing, or we're adding things. Things are changing every day. So just keep an eye out for that. If you are interested in the commercial presentations, I'm sure that everyone would love to have you there. They're great for a lot of information about their product and about what they're doing in the world of mathematics education. Next is the grand opening of the exhibits hall, which will be Thursday after one of the keynotes at 4:30 from 7 p.m. And it'll be very similar to the years past, how we'll do it. As soon as the keynote is over, everyone will go around I believe it's around the corner, right, Turi?
Down the escalator and around the corner.
Down the escalator and around the corner will be ready for you for the exhibit hall grand opening. Let's see, what do I have next? So we have some dedicated times for you where there are no sessions scheduled. This is time for you to go visit the vendors. So Friday from 9:15 to 10:15 and Saturday from 10 to 10:45. We'd certainly like to thank our exhibitors, number one, for supporting AMATYC and for providing great financial support in a variety of ways. So when you go visit them in the exhibit hall, please say thank you. We appreciate their efforts and everything they do for us at AMATYC. So some questions that you might have when visiting the exhibitors. So things to ask them, like, are you considering adopting a new textbook? Are you considering doing something with a new co-requisite model or some things of that nature? Or is there a new software package out? Or what upgrades have been done to, you know, the big platforms that you might be using in your classroom for online, virtual, or just general computer support? And then obviously, what software questions might you have? You will find all those answers there. Everyone will be glad to help you with anything you have about textbooks, technology in the classroom. So I believe my next slide is, we have this year an astonishing 5 corporate partners, which we're very proud to say. Hawks Learning, McGraw-Hill, Wiley, Pearson, and Derivata have joined us as corporate partners this year. So take an extra minute or two to say thank you to them for being a corporate sponsor. They will have dedicated signage that you will see as you enter into the exhibit hall. We've got them nice new recognition signs, which will be a nice addition to the exhibit hall for our corporate partners. So again, make sure you say thank you to our corporate partners. And at this time, I'm going to turn it back to Michael.
All right, thank you. So now I'm going to show you all about the Hoover app that we're so excited to introduce and show you all its features. So let me share my screen. So we have on Hoover, there's the smartphone app, and then there's also the web version. So I'm going to show you the features on either one. They're very similar. The phone app will have a slightly more features, but the web version is just as great too. So first thing, I think the most important thing to show you on the Hoover app is just where to get it. I mean, you can download it from the App Store or Play Store and just search AMATYC, and it's the first thing that comes up. So it's very easy to find. The agenda. So I'm going to show you the agenda on the app is at the bottom left. And then on the web version, you can go to agenda, full agenda. So this will show, when you pull up the agenda, this will show every single session, mini session, workshop, and meeting and theme session that's being shown at the conference. So you can sort by day, just like as you've seen in previous years. Let me minimize, or can I get this? Here, minimize that get out of the way. So you can sort by day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You can also see the commercial presentations as well. What Judy was talking about earlier was the program keys. Every single session can have program keys listed. So you can see those on the web version pretty clearly, and everything's color coded, and they'll have the program keys stamped above every single theme session or mini session. And you'll see those on the web app as well. Or on the app, the little tiny dots on every session shows the program keys. But maybe you're only interested in seeing one particular program key, or maybe 2 or 3 different program keys. There's a way that you can filter by the program keys of those sessions that are shown. So filter by tracks on the web version. Say I'm only interested in the equity and inclusivity, math and non-STEM. I have to get math intensive. Let's see, stats. I'm going to just look at only the sessions that are like those. You can do the same thing on the web, on the app as well. If you go up to tracks at the top, you can sort by the sessions as well. So let's say I do pathways, general interest, and strategies for student success, and I can filter by those sessions as well. So any of those sessions that have those program keys listed will actually show up now. So that's, I think that's extremely beneficial. I can sort by the program keys, and if I want them all back, I can just go back up the tracks on the app and just show all. Or on the web, I can just click and show all the tracks again, or all the program keys. Let's go back. So then another thing that you might be familiar with from previous years is that you can build your own agenda. So every single session, if you click on add to my agenda, it's very easy to add the session to your agenda. You can add it to your personal calendar if you would like to as well. I've added session AMATYC 101, the walk and learn. For anyone who's new to AMATYC, this is an excellent session to attend on Thursday morning where you can learn all about AMATYC. So I've added that to my agenda. I'm going to add, say, a meeting. I'll add that, meeting 1, and a commercial session. I'll add that one to my agenda as well. So then you can have all those in my agenda, and those will only show up. And you can do the same thing in the app. I want to do theme session 1. Just click the little icon, add it to your calendar, and it's very simple. And it can show up under my agenda for that particular day. Let me show you what's under each session information next. So let's say I click on session 101. You'll have the speakers. There's the speakers information. The description of the session will show up. If there are theme sessions or like AMATYC 101, there's different tours. So you'll have different sub-sessions that are listed on the web version. You'll have the day, the time, and where the session actually takes place. I've added this to my agenda so you can see that I'm planning to attend that session. You can see the same thing on the app. If I click on session 001, you have the same information. You have the overview, the speakers. You can take personal notes, and you can also have a chat feature.
Hey, Mike, I'm going to jump in before you continue
Okay.
on with some other features, just because we have some people in the chat who are looking for the app.
Okay.
And so I just want to make sure to be clear about the fact that there's a difference this year. In the past, Guidebook was just open to the public and anyone could download the app. And then, everyone had access to the same thing. And then, you could do your personalized stuff within Guidebook, but it was just sort of like a general, generalized login. For Hoover, we've got some really cool features that Mike hasn't talked about yet. There's just a ton of exciting stuff involved, but because of all the neat features, we have to control who logs into it. And so you're going to receive a personalized invitation for Hoover. So it's not just that you go out and you find the Hoover app and you download it. So we are going to publish a website where you can look at the schedule and you can kind of sort through the agenda that Mike's showing right now. But to really get logged in to have the personalized Hoover experience, you're going to want to wait for the email that's going to come from us that's going to invite you individually to log into Hoover and get into the app, because that's going to allow you to do cool things like start video chats with other attendees and to post to message boards and be part of communities and stuff. So because of all those extra features, you're going to want to log in individually, and so you have to wait for that invitation from us. You can't go out and get that yet. So that's why people are having trouble finding it, as they're people are eager to try it because Mike's making it look so great. And so we had some questions in the chat like, why can't I find it? And that's why.
Okay. Yeah, so like Turi said, there's so many different features in Hoover. So this is basically like what you would expect. Like you can see the agenda, you can see the program, you can see the session information, you can see the speakers. But what makes Hoover really, really nice is that it has all these additional features that every session, mini session, workshop, theme session has. Off on the web version, you can see there's this Q&A, the polls, the chat, the community tabs at the top. And let me just click on this as view as attendee. And you can also, speakers will see the moderator part. But say you have attendees that have questions, and they can actually ask the questions and the speakers can answer the questions during the session, but they can also answer questions that attendees may have during or even after the session using the Q&A feature, the question and answer feature. So it's like a discussion board or a discussion forum if you're familiar with those. A person can just post a question. It will be viewable to all the speakers and attendees, and anyone can answer. So you can have that also on the app version, the Q&A feature. And so it'll be just like, it'll just appear like this, and anyone can ask any questions and anyone can answer any questions. It's just like a open forum. You also have the polls feature. So say the speaker has a poll that they would like to know more about their audience. They can set up a poll before their session, and the speakers can see that there's a poll available to them when they go into the session information. So they can add a poll, and on the app, they can do the same thing. It looks exactly the same. There's also the chat feature. So it's just like like you would expect a chat. You can chat with the speakers personally. So you'll send a message in Hoover to the speakers that you're asking, you're sending them a personalized chat. Same thing within the app, the chat feature. It's at the very bottom. So they'll have a little chat box that you can type in your message to them. But then there's also this community tab in the web version. In the community tab, this is where there's a lot of power within Hoover. There's the meetups and the virtual meetups. You can suggest having a meetup with other attendees or colleagues or the speaker of a session. You can suggest having a meetup. I can have a meetup in a physical location, or I can have a virtual meetup. I'm just do the physical meetup. So you can have a simple title, a description of what you would like to talk about, the location. You can suggest meeting in the impromptu room. You can have the date, the time, how long the meeting will be, and so on. So this is very new. So you can have a lot of connectivity with both the speakers and the attendees and other colleagues that maybe, say you have a colleague who's attending another session, you're attending one session, you want to meet up afterwards and discuss the ideas that you each learned during your session. You can suggest that in the Hoover app as well. So in the Hoover app, there's this community button at the bottom, and that's all the same information that the community tab has in the web version. There's also announcements that the organizers can have set up, any article sharing for this within the session. You can ask the organizers questions and so on. There's icebreakers. There's a lot of features that each session can have that the speakers can use and the attendees within each session. Let's see. So let me go back to the home screen on the web version and the app. So the next thing I want to show you is the speakers or the attendees at the bottom on the app. So attendees, and that would be here too on the web version. You can see everyone who's going to attend the conference. You can also sort using the categories tab at the top. And I can say, let's sort by all the speakers. I can see all their individualized profiles. So I'm just going to select Jennifer Ackerman. She's the first one that comes up always. So this is Jennifer Ackerman's profile page. You can see the sessions that Jennifer is speaking at or that she's leading. She's leading meeting 15, the Innovate ITLC meeting, committee meeting. It gives the times, the dates. You can have her biography and the affiliation. You can exchange contact information in the app. And also at the top, you can see that you can bookmark the speaker or the attendee. You can send them a personal hi, let's say hi to them, a personalized chat. It'll show up in their message box on Hoover. You can also suggest a meetup. That's the same screen that I was showing you a little bit earlier. So you can set up a meetup with Jennifer. You can also sort by exhibitors. So if you want to talk to an exhibitor personally, you can set up a chat with them. You can see their personal profile. So Kayla Elkin. Same thing with the app. I can sort by exhibitors, or I can sort by attendees. And I think the only organizer is Todd. So Todd Stein is the organizer of Hoover app. Let's see. I've shown you the community tab. Your messages will show up when you get them through the chat, or the meetups that will show up will be under the messages tab. And also on the app, the messages at the bottom right corner.
And I'll just mention that the people who are in there right now, the names you're seeing, those are speakers. And so they're there because we've preloaded them. Jennifer has apparently used Hoover in the past for some other event, and so she's got a picture in already, but all of the speakers will be able to load their pictures. And then as attendees get connected, we haven't loaded attendees in yet, but when we get to that point and we send out the emails to invite you to come in, you'll be able to do the same thing. You'll be in this list and you'll be able to upload your picture and add information about yourself and be able to use all these features to video chat with people and send messages and stuff. So this is why you're going to want to be logged in using the invitation that we sent, so that you have access to, just being able to click on Jennifer and do a quick video chat with her. That's just amazing. So we are certainly in this first year probably not going to use all of the features to their full extent, because we're learning it, and as we will roll out things to attendees, but we're going to be using this for the next several years, and I think it's just going to get better and better over the years.
So exactly. So I mean, there's so many features that I'm not aware of them yet. So if there's anything that you would like to learn more about within Hoover, there's this resources tab. Also on the home screen for the app, there's this resources tab, and then there's the session Q&A, the video gallery, the surveys, the Twitter. If you want to connect with Twitter, there's the Hoover guides. That's what I really want to show you. So the Hoover guides can show you some very common things that you can actually do within Hoover. It's also on the app if you go to Hoover Guide. So very FAQs, quick tips, step-by-step guides, the very helpful guides that if you want to get more familiar with Hoover. And then the last thing I want to show you is how do you actually provide session feedback for a session that you've attended. So there's a couple ways. In the app, if you go to your agenda, My Agenda, it doesn't matter. You can go to Agenda or My Agenda. Say I want to evaluate session 001. There's the 3 stars and then the rate that you see. That's the session feedback. So if you click on that, it will show up whenever the conference starts. It'll show up with the questions in the session feedback form. And we extremely appreciate any feedback that you have for the sessions and also the speakers. So we would highly encourage you to fill out a session evaluation. So it's the 3 stars and the rate. Now, the like is just like with social media likes. You can like the session, but that's all it does. It doesn't actually give any feedback other than you simply like the session. The session feedback is the 3 stars and the rate. And you can do the same thing on the web version. If you go to resources and you go to surveys, it will populate with the sessions that you've attended or you've added to My Agenda. And it'll be the same thing. You can rate, you can send session evaluation for the sessions you've attended. So that's a lot of information about Hoover, but it's just scratched the surface with Hoover. So let me stop sharing these 2 screens. Let me go back to the last couple slides. Right, and then share this. Okay, so the last couple things I want to mention are, get this out of the way. All right, the last couple things I want to mention is that just an announcement or a reminder that presenters and presiders, we have a webinar that's just for you on Thursday, October 14th, 3 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to talk about just getting you ready and what to expect for your presentation, and also for presiding over the session, getting fired up for Phoenix for presenters and presiders. And then, as we've mentioned before, the conference does not end on Sunday in Phoenix. The fun continues on Friday, November 5th, and also on Saturday, November 6th, with the virtual days. So what's really nice is that the conference registration for Phoenix is also, or the registration for the virtual days is included with your registration for Phoenix.
And the really exciting thing is that the Hoover app is just going to take us right into the virtual days. We'll be using it on site in Phoenix, and then the virtual days, you'll just go right back into that same Hoover app and you'll be able to connect to your sessions through there. So we think it's going to be a pretty seamless transition from the in-person days to the virtual days. And we know there's not a lot of information out about the virtual days yet. We know some people are like, well, so what's going on those virtual days? So far, we've been really focused on encouraging people to come to Phoenix and making sure the hotel knows that we're committed to having a great conference in Phoenix. And so we've been holding out on scheduling a lot of the stuff for the virtual days. And as Todd mentioned earlier, so many things are in flux this year. Things are changing all of the time. And so we're waiting to see a few more things to see what happens, and we're getting those virtual days scheduled, but it's already looking like they're going to be fantastic days. So if you know someone who isn't able to come to Phoenix, first, check, really, can't you come? Like, come to Phoenix. But if you just can't get to Phoenix, it's possible to register for the virtual days separately. That registration link is live yet, but I know some people are waiting for some more information to come out about those days before they register.
Okay, and then do you have any questions for us? So I'm going to stop sharing so I can see the chat.
Apparently we were pretty thorough. Yes, if you come to Phoenix, you are automatically included in the virtual session. And so, yes, you come to Phoenix, and then the next Friday and Saturday, join into the virtual sessions. Absolutely. The email from Hoover is going to be, I don't have an exact date yet, but it's going to be several weeks before you get that. What about the mentor for the new cohort? Can you expand on that question a little bit? Yeah, if you received an email about mentoring, I hope that you're planning to do that, because Access is awesome and it's fantastic. I'm going to refer you to Lisa Feynman. Lisa is our project access coordinator, and so she's going to have all the answers about that. I believe Vicki Todd might be involved in mentoring as well, but I'm definitely going to refer you to the Access leadership about that. Oh, no worries. Like, we are supporters of Access in this group, so 100%. So no worries, but we just don't have those answers for you. So feel free to email me if you need. Yeah, Vicki, who's been emailing you, definitely check with her. But anyone who wants to follow up, I'm putting my email in the chat. So any questions you have that aren't getting answered today, or if you need me to connect you with someone else, please feel free to email me.
And I realized as Mike was showing us Hoover and some of those themed sessions came up, they weren't on my list of things to do and part of the conference. But remember, the themed session consists of 6 15-minute talks, and they're usually sponsored by one of our academic committees or ANETs. So if it's a statistics themed talk, you can expect people for 15 minutes to be telling you something specific to statistics. And we have an equity and several others, and I'm not going to try to name them all because I know I'll leave somebody out if I do. But there are 6.
Oh, and I meant to, sorry, Judy.
Just 6 of them Thursday morning starting at 8 a.m. But the nice thing about that is if you decide you want to sleep an extra 15 or 30 minutes, you can still come down and slip in on one of those breaks between the talks and have missed a little bit, but pick up on a new talk.
So James is asking about checking into the hotel. I believe check-in starts at 3 o'clock, except when you use the Marriott Bonvoy app, you actually get a message in the app that says that you can check in. So like you can like you can check in when you're at the airport, and then like they get your room ready and your key is ready later. And so you may actually be able to check in on the app earlier in the day saying that you're coming, but official check-in is 3 o'clock. And the other thing I wanted to mention, I forgot when I was talking about the local committee and what a great job they've done. Julie Gunkelman shouted out the backgrounds here. Those are all the local committee. They did those. So if you're interested in getting one of these great Phoenix backgrounds, go to the conference website and follow the link to the local committee's website, and you can download these backgrounds yourself, because that's where we all got them. Oh, the app for the hotel. Yeah, it's called the Marriott Bonvoy app. You have to have an account with Marriott, a Bonvoy account, but that's free. So it's free to sign up for a Bonvoy account. And then you take your confirmation number from the hotel, type it into the app to look up your visit, and then you're in the app.
Okay, do we have any more questions for our panelists today? If not, let's give them a round of applause by way of thanking them in the chat. And Todd, Judy, Mike, Turi, thank you so much. Can't wait. It's like too long away. I'm ready to go now. So I look forward to hopefully seeing everyone in Phoenix. Great job, guys. Thank you all for attending today.
If there are any other questions, we're happy to hang around for a bit to answer those remaining questions, but if not, that's fine too. Thank you to everyone for coming.